Hey y'all, this is Amanda and welcome back to my Texas Zone 8A garden, and today we're going to be working on this old workbench that I got for free on Facebook Marketplace and turning it into a beautiful potting bench for the new shade garden. Okay, so if you don't know, I have been creating a shade garden on the side of my house. It's one of those side yard areas that's kind of like unusable. I had a hard time growing grass back there. There were drainage issues, all kinds of stuff. So I decided to turn it into a shade garden. In my area, I don't have a lot of shade. I live in like one of those new build neighborhoods. The houses are newer. There's very few trees. I mean, there's just not a lot of shade. And so I've been working on that side area. And one of the things I've always wanted as a gardener is a potting bench. I've never really had a place to put it, but I really thought in the shade garden might be the perfect opportunity in that it's in the shade, and I'd prefer to work in the shade, especially at this time of year. And I also thought it might create a really kind of homey sense. I really want this kind of whimsical, kind of nice and cool atmosphere back there, very vintage, collected kind of feeling. So I ended up picking up this workbench right here for free on Facebook Marketplace. Now this guy, the guy had it on listed on there for quite a while. He had it listed for $50. I offered $30. He said, if you'll just come get it, you can have it for free. And I was like, okay. So I hopped in the car right away and went to get it. And that's one of the things I would say on Facebook Marketplace. If you're wanting something for free, or if you're going to ask for a discounted price from the seller, be willing to get in the car right away and go get what you have. Now, it's old. It's rickety like this. There's some boards that are loose. So what we're going to do is I'm going to first start by just blowing the whole thing off, getting a bunch of the dirt and stuff off of it. We're going to find out the loose boards, and then we're going to go ahead and secure everything. Once everything is secured and much more stable, then we're going to end up sanding it, staining it, and then finally we are going to be adding an awning up the back of this. So the awning is going to go up, and it's going to have a little covering coming over the top of it. While I'm getting this cleaned off, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some inspiration pictures and talk about why I like which inspiration pictures and what I like about each of them, and kind of show you the direction that I'm going for this build. What I think I'm going to do next is do some sanding. It has like some burn char marks on it, so I guess somebody lit something on fire on here. And so I borrowed my dad's sander. It's just a plain standard sander. I usually use one of those little mouse sanders, but this is some pretty rugged wood, so I feel like my dad's sander will be a little bit better. If I had a orbital sander, that would be really nice, but I don't. Okay, I'm probably jumping the gun, but I want to go ahead and get some stain on here. I know I still have parts to build, but kind of psyched. So this is called Royal Pine, and this is from Lowe's. It's a wood finish, semi-transparent color stain. So I really do want the imperfections to show through. And I'm going to go ahead and start with a roller for this, just because it's so much area, and then I can always go back with a brush to kind of fine tune some areas. I did put a big piece of cardboard underneath so I don't get this all over my garage floor. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh, this is going to soak up a ton of stain because this wood is old and dry. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. Love it. Oh, it's like a peacock blue almost. Still has green in it, so it still relates well to the rest of the garden and to the sage color of the Vigo garden. Okay, I'm really liking it. The more it soaks in, the more of the wood comes through. I think it looks really, really nice. Now I'm going to go back and use a brush to like get in the crevices and stuff. I'm not going to put more than one coat because I want it to, wear unevenly. But it's looking really good. Very happy with the color. I think it's going to be really great in the space. Love the blue. Yeah. Oh, gotta get that board. It's looking good. Okay, so next part is to start working on the awning portion, and then I'll have to restain all the awning portion and I'll do the touch-ups then. Okay, so I have pre-cut all my wood. I went over to my dad's house and used his miter saw and pre-cut everything over there. And so basically at this point, I could give you guys all the measurements, but it really doesn't matter because it's going to be dependent on whatever you are creating. Basically, my idea was to start with the structure that will hold the corrugated roof on it. And then I'm going to be attaching it at a 10-degree angle onto the back of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put together the pieces, and then I'll talk through how everything kind of fits together. I know a lot of people are going to be like, you should have done it this way, you should have done it that way. This is what worked for my brain. I'm not saying you have to do this way. This is really just inspiration for you to create your own design. So let's get started. Okay, so what I like to do when I'm building is I like to basically dry fit almost everything, and then I'll go back later and undo the screws and add in glue. And that just makes me feel more secure that I'm doing things the right way. For those of y'all who don't know, my degree is actually in studio art with an emphasis in sculpture. So I have had a lot of experience with building, construction, and power tools. However, I am a big believer that I walked in as an 18-year-old kid to sculpture class and had never picked up a power tool in my life, and it was not as hard as you would think. So definitely keep that in mind. Ask people around you. But anyway, I've already pre-drilled my holes. So these are the uprights. So there's an upright on each side, and these have already been pre-cut with a 10-degree angle at the top going out. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my pre-drilled, I already had holes pre-drilled, put in my screws so that I don't have to reach for a screw when I'm trying to secure this in place. And I do pre-drill all my holes so that I don't split the wood. This is just 2x4s. This is not good quality stuff here. Okay, so for the next part, this is basically the bones of the roof right here, right? So it is going to sit up there at an angle like that. However, what I need to do is I need to install an additional brace right here. I need to install them lined up with this guy and this guy, because I will, once this is in place, once this is up high, I'll have additional braces right here that will support the roof up high, if that makes sense. So what I need to do is basically lay this guy out and kind of center it up where I want in here so I can kind of see how it fits up. Like I said, y'all, this is not going to be perfect, which is very, if you've watched my gardening channel for any reasonable amount of time, y'all know that that's how I roll anyway. All right, so basically the structure is about 6 feet long, and I've already pre-cut my pieces of wood to match. So basically what I need to go in and do is put these guys in. And then I need to go ahead and mark where those are going to go with a marker. Marking it in like that. Okay, so just taking a couple look, I'm trying to decide if I want to do this piece long ways like this, specifically because of screw length, because it'll be harder to go through here into this. So I'm wondering if I want to turn this particular stud lengthwise like this. And I do think that that's what I'm going to end up doing at this point. Turning it lengthwise like this, because then I have this coming off like this. See, it comes out at an angle. Let me come over here so I can show you guys better. So this is basically, it's going to come off here at an angle like this, and then this piece comes up to support it, and I've already cut this. So this comes off at a 10-degree angle, so I had to cut these angles, like if you think about a 90-degree angle is a right angle, correct? I sliced off 10 degrees, so I had 80 degrees left. So I cut these two angles on either side at 40 degrees, because that's what I had left to split, and so it will all fit up here like this. Coming off of here, which this should support it. Yeah, I feel good about that. So for some reason, my microphone stopped working right here, so I'm just going to do a voiceover. So basically what I want to be able to do is the brace in my left hand, I want to go ahead and attach it with screws, but I need to know where to attach it without having to lift the really big roof portion up at this point in time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize that little 2x4 that's down there on the table right by my left hand leg, or by my left leg, and I'm going to go ahead and screw it into the top as a template, and it's going to give me that 10-degree angle. Then I will be able to go back and put the brace that has the 40-degree angles in each side. I'll be able to go ahead and put that brace screwed into place, and then I can take this small 2x4 that I was using as a template, I can go ahead and take it off and make room for the actual roof. And of course, I went ahead and completed the entire process on the other side as well. And then once I was done, I made sure to remove the template, and now we are ready to lift up the big portion of the roof. Okay, so there's definitely like some figuring things out and making some adjustments, but you can see the general layout. So let me see what I can do. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that these back posts are lined up with the 2x4s that are coming across the center that are their supports. So I want to start with one at a time. I'm going to get up here even though I'm afraid of heights. Got that there, and then I think I'm going to do one from behind as well. Maybe, yeah, just one from behind as well. Sometimes it makes me laugh. My husband goes to work. He's a computer engineer. We're very different people, and I think that's why we get along so well, because we kind of complement each other. But he comes home from work, and I will have done something wacky, you know, like build something or rearrange the whole house, or I do crazy stuff all the time. And I know he just comes home and is all like, but we've been married 20 years, so he's kind of used to it. Okay, so that's lined up. So next part is coming in here with the brace, and I'm going to screw down from above, I believe, to get that lined up. Okay, all right, so I put you guys at an angle so you can see the slight angle. So it all fits really good. Now this is not perfect in any way, y'all. I'm sure it's not square. I did what worked for me and what worked within my budget. And so the next part is I need to go ahead and stain all the wood. And then I'm going to be utilizing this product called, what is its name? It's called Sun Top. And this is a plastic corrugated stuff that looks like metal but isn't. And so basically now I need to go read up on how to cut this. So I think I have enough to go 1, 2, 3. And I'll probably start from the middle and work my way out. And I am going to have a little bit of an overhang. I want it to come out a little bit further. But basically I'm going to divide this into 3 equal pieces. Hopefully. I believe this was 8 feet long. Yeah, it's 8 feet long. And this guy is 28 inches long. So what is that? 96 inches and divided by 28 inches. So I'll just divide 96 inches by 3, and that'll give me 32 inches in length on each of them, which will give me a little bit of an overlap, a little bit coming over this way as well. So it should be good. Now, when installing this, you actually end up utilizing these like brackets. And how I saw this product is I was watching Jerry from Hopalong Hollow. And if you haven't watched her, oh my gosh, she's the best. She's very real. She just goes about her business her way, and she's an artist by heart. Well, I should say artist, not just by heart, in reality too. She makes these beautiful sculpted animals, and she draws, and she does all kinds of cool stuff. But anyway, she utilized these to make her own greenhouse, and basically this, you know, it's wavy, and so the corrugation like fits in naturally into the waves. So you you screw this onto the top of there, and then it holds all your corrugation in place. So it seems pretty easy. I've got enough to do, I think, 3 on the front. So I'll start in the center and then 3 on the back to hold it in place. And I could just put the whole sheet up like I had it, but that makes all the ridges running lengthwise, and I want them to run front to back or back to front so that the water will cascade out to the front, because when this is against the wall, the low spot in the shade garden is in the center, and I want the water to run towards that low spot. So I think that that'll look really good. Anyway, I think I'm going to take a little bit of break, and then I'm going to come in here and begin some painting. And then once all of this is stained and good to go, then I will install the roof. And then at that point, I had to make some decisions regarding what I want to do in this center part, because I originally was going to do shutters, but I haven't located any shutters secondhand, and I don't want to buy new shutters. Y'all know how I am about that. If I don't have to buy it new, I don't want to buy it new. So then I was like, well, maybe I'll just run a couple of shelves for the time being. Something like that. I'm not really sure. I won't really know until I get it in place what I want to do. So I'll do those finishing touches in place. Okay, so I'm cutting the corrugated plastic, and I'm using a Ryobi tool. It's basically like a little handheld circular saw, and I'm using the particular blade that is the carbide blade. It's specifically for drywall and plastic, which is needed, which is great. This is a great tool to have, very, very handy. I like the Ryobi tools just because I can move the batteries around. We already own them. And so basically what I've done is I've gone in here and I've actually made little black marks every 32 inches from this end. And then what I'm going to do, since it's corrugated, I'm going to cut just across the top part, all the ridges that come up. Then I'll flip it and cut it from the other side. I've already done one panel and went really easy, so let me show you how it goes with this panel. And yes, I'm in a dress using power tools. So I cut all the way across the top, and then I'll just flip it over and match it up from the other side. Okay, you can certainly use a circular saw, like a full-size circular saw, to do this as well. My circular saw doesn't have like a fine tooth saw blade in it, and so this works way better, and it's easier, and this is battery operated for me, which I love. So I don't have cords or anything like that. So we got these cut up, so let's kind of see how they fit. All right, so that is the general idea up there. I think it looks really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start in the center, and I'm going to start by installing one of these guys. So basically, the idea is this fits like this, and this helps maintain the ridges all the way across. So should work pretty good. Okay, I got it on. Looks very cool. Underneath part. It looks really good. Awesome. So now I got to figure out what to do with this center portion. I was originally thinking I'd love to put like a beautiful piece of stained glass there, but now I'm not sure yet. I know I definitely want some shelves. So I might just start with some simple shelves and go from there, and then I can make changes to this as I, continue to utilize my space. But now one of the big things is I'll install a couple of shelves, and then we have to move it. So this has to go out this way. So it's got to go out here. and all the way down the side through that gate down there. So that'll be fun. Okay, so we got it in place. It took a little bit. So what I'm doing next is I'm going to install some shelving, and I ended up picking up these 6-inch by 6-foot long cedar fence pickets, and they are already pre-stained. I paid more for them to be pre-stained because I'm tired and I want to just get this project knocked off. So I have kind of a weird gap right here. So I'm going to start with that. So start with this in place, and basically I'm just going to pre-drill in some holes and insert some wood screws. Okay, so I'm going to put the one fence board down like that, and then I'm going to come back with another fence board on top like that to create kind of a back. And the reason I'm doing this is I feel like the blue's a lot, and so I want to lighten it up a little bit, or add a little bit of contrast in here by going ahead and adding in a little bit more of the cedar tone wood to add a little bit more warmth to the design. Okay, so there's the first one. Now, from here, I think I'm going to do one more shelf using some brackets that I already own. And I'm going to do the shelf, and then I'm going to attach the board, but then I'm also going to do the board in the back. Okay, and then I'm going to put another one up in the back. And I also like this idea because I know it sounds weird, but I do want to put some artwork here. And so by doing this, it'll allow me to put some stuff up here, lean it, don't have to worry about it falling back because there is kind of a weird gap going on. Okay, I like it. It's not perfect, but y'all, it looks pretty darn good. I'm really happy with it. I really like the little wood shelves. You know, they're just semi-permanent. They can be removed. And I can, as I learn how I want to utilize this in this space, I can adjust them as needed. I have a few more pieces of the cedar. I'm looking at potentially doing like a side shelf, or even coming across this bottom part with a piece of cedar just to kind of tie into this whole effect up here. But I think about it a little bit. I don't want to rush into it. I want to think about it just a little bit more before I do that. But I really think the wood goes a long way to tie into the space, especially since there's so much of the wood fence over here. So that is super helpful. I am excited. Okay, so the space is really coming along now. We've made a ton of progress now that we have the bench in here. I think it looks really good. You can already see it's cast a lot of shade. I am so excited to style it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I really want it to feel personal. I want it to feel used. I don't want it to feel perfect. I want it to feel like it's going to be a dirty, messy space, because y'all have seen how I garden. I don't put tools away. I'm terrible about this stuff. But I want it to be my space, a space I love, a space that I enjoy. So I'm really looking forward to it, and the shade garden's really taking shape. So the next thing that I'm going to be focusing on is we're going to be moving some plants over here. I already have some hydrangeas that I utilize. So we're going to be moving some of those over there on the back porch. They're going to be coming over here to the shade garden. We are also going to be setting up a new drip system from beginning to end in this space. So if you're someone who's been interested in setting up a drip irrigation system, my next video on the shade garden will be super helpful, because I'm very simple when I go through all that, explaining what all the pieces are, giving sending you photos of them so you know exactly what to buy to create your system. So we'll be doing that. And then I think we're going to move in that big 3-tiered metal planter. I think it's going to go over here, I think is the current plan. So that'll be really fun in the next one. But we're getting closer. We're going to be going through little details. So we'll move all that stuff in. And then at that point, I really need to start focusing on the kind of arch doorway portion that's going to be leading into here. And I do have some stuff in the works regarding that, but haven't finalized it yet. All right, you all, I hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when my latest videos are up. And make sure you check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. As always, she's Mad Gardener or Decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.